The rain hammered Manhattan's sidewalks like 1,000 tiny accusations, each drop accusing Mason Hargrove of every bad decision that had led him here. Standing outside the gilded doors of the plaza, tuxedo soaked through, heart heavier than the diamond cufflinks weighing down his sleeves. "Fuck this," he muttered. But the words dissolved into the storm as his eyes locked on the figure slumped against a lamppost across the street. A man, mid-30s maybe, drenched and shivering, cardboard sign limp in his lap, reading, "Anything helps." Their gazes collided like thunder, raw, electric, and before Mason could second-guess the whiskey-fueled madness, he was crossing the avenue, dodging cabs, and thrusting out a hand. "Hey!" Mason said, voice cracking like the lightning overhead. "Want to crash a wedding with me? It's my ex's, and I need, I don't know, a miracle." Mason Hargrove wasn't the type to pick up strangers on the street. Hell, he wasn't the type to feel much of anything anymore. Not since Alex had traded their 5-year clusterfuck of a relationship for a stable engagement to some Wall Street drone named Bradley. But tonight, with the wedding invite burning a hole in his pocket like a scarlet letter, and the city blurring into a watercolor of regret, Mason felt the pull of something reckless. The man under the lamppost didn't flinch at the approach. He just lifted his head, eyes the color of faded denim, shadowed by a week's worth of stubble and a beanie pulled low. Up close, he smelled like wet asphalt and faint, underlying soap. Someone fighting to hold on to dignity in a world that had long since written him off. "Name's Liam," the man said, his voice gravelly but steady, like he'd rehearsed it 1,000 times for cops or tourists. He didn't take Mason's hand, but he eyed the offered umbrella with a wry half-smile. "Crash a wedding? That's a new one. Usually it's coffee or loose change." Mason laughed, a sharp bark that surprised even him. "Loose change won't get you past the velvet rope. But this." He pulled the embossed invitation from his coat, the gold lettering gleaming under the streetlight. "Alexander Whitmore and Bradley Kensington request the honor. This'll get us both in. Free champagne, dancing if you're into that, and the chance to watch 200 Manhattan elites pretend they're not judging every soul in the room." Liam studied the card, then Mason. Taking in the bespoke suit clinging to broad shoulders, the jawline sharp enough to cut glass, the kind of effortless wealth that screamed old money without apology. "What's the catch? Rich guy like you doesn't slum it for fun." "No catch," Mason lied, because the truth was too pathetic. He couldn't face the night alone, couldn't bear the pitying glances from Alex's crowd, the whispers about how he'd let himself go after the breakup. Just company, real company, not the fake-ass pity party my assistant tried to set up. Liam pushed to his feet, unfolding like a question mark, taller than Mason expected. 6'2" easy, with a lean build honed by survival, not gym memberships. He snatched the umbrella, popping it open with a flick. "All right, suit, lead the way. But if this turns into some Hunger Games shit where I'm the entertainment, I'm out." The cab ride to the venue was a blur of awkward small talk and stolen glances. Mason learned Liam was from Philly originally, a graphic designer who'd hit the skids after a startup folded in the pandemic. Lost the job, the apartment, the boyfriend who couldn't handle the downgrade. "Ain't no rainbow at the end of the storm," Liam quipped, staring out at the neon-streaked windows. Mason shared just enough. Family fortune from steel mills turned real estate empire. A penthouse on the Upper East Side that echoed like a tomb, and Alex, the golden boy who'd promised forever until the ring on his finger said otherwise. By the time they pulled up to the rooftop terrace of the Beekman, a converted armory turned fairy tale venue, the rain had eased to a drizzle, fairy lights twinkling against the skyline like hesitant stars. Valets in crisp uniforms double-took at Liam's threadbare jeans and hoodie, but Mason's name on the list, and the glare that dared them to question it, got them through. Inside, the air hummed with string quartets and clinking crystal. Guests in designer gowns and tuxes milled like peacocks, air-kissing over canapes that cost more than Liam's last meal. "Jesus," Liam breathed, pausing at the threshold, his hand brushing Mason's elbow for balance. "This is a lot." Mason straightened his lapels, forcing a grin. "Welcome to my nightmare. Stick close. I'll get you a suit from the Lost and Found or something. Can't have you looking like the help. But Liam waved him off, chin lifting with that quiet defiance. Nah, let em stare. Authenticity's my superpower. They wove through the crowd, Mason nodding at half-remembered faces. His cousin Eliza in emerald silk, Alex's bitch's sister Tessa clutching a martini like a weapon. Whispers followed. Is that Hargrove? With who? Mason felt exposed, raw, but Liam's presence was a shield, his low chuckle cutting the tension like a knife. At the open bar, Mason ordered scotch neat. Liam a beer. Classy joint like this? And they got PBR? Liam teased, popping the tab. Progress. The ceremony was mercifully short. Alex, resplendent in ivory damask, exchanging vows with Bradley under a floral arch that screamed Instagram perfection. Mason watched from the back, throat tight, memories crashing like waves. Late nights in their Chelsea walk-up, Alex's laugh echoing off exposed brick. The way he'd trace Mason's scars from a childhood accident with fingers like promises. Now those fingers clasped Bradley's, sealing a door Mason had left ajar. You okay? Liam murmured, close enough that his breath warmed Mason's ear. Mason swallowed, eyes stinging. Peachy. Just realizing I'm the villain in my own rom-com. Liam's hand landed on his shoulder, firm and grounding. Nah, you're the plot twist. As the reception kicked off, DJ spinning indie folk remixes, waiters circulating lobster tails on silver platters, the real gauntlet began. Alex's crowd descended like locusts. First was Tessa, eyes narrowing at Liam like he'd tracked mud on the carpet. Mason, darling, who's your charity case? Slumming for tax write-offs now. Liam stiffened, but Mason stepped in, arm looping possessively around Liam's waist. Liam O'Connor, world-class bullshit detector. Liam, Tessa, professional wedding crasher. She huffed, flouncing off, but not before hissing. Alex said you were spiraling. This proves it. The barb landed, but Liam's thumb traced a subtle circle on Mason's hip. A silent I've got you. They danced then, awkwardly at first, Mason leading with the stiff precision of cotillion lessons, Liam following with street-honed grace. Under the chandelier's glow, bodies pressed close, the world narrowed to the heat between them, the faint stubble rasp of Liam's jaw against Mason's temple. Thanks, Mason whispered into the slow sway of ho-hey, for not bailing. Liam pulled back just enough to meet his eyes, something fierce and unguarded flickering there. Told you authenticity. And you? You're more real than this circus deserves. It was the first crack in Mason's armor, a fissure letting light in. They stole moments amid the chaos, sharing stolen bites of tiramisu on a balcony overlooking the East River. Liam sketching absurd caricatures of stuffy guests on a cocktail napkin. Mason confessing how Alex's betrayal had gutted him worse than any boardroom coup. He said I was too much, too ambitious, too broken. Like love's a transaction, and I overdrew the account. Liam listened, really listened, his silences more eloquent than platitudes. Love ain't a ledger, man. It's the mess in between. The showing up when the rain won't quit. By midnight, the champagne had loosened tongues and inhibitions. Couples grinded on the dance floor. A tipsy aunt cornered Mason for investment advice. Liam vanished briefly to the restroom, returning with a borrowed blazer from a sympathetic bartender. Ill-fitting but worlds better than the hoodie. Figured I'd upgrade for the encore. Mason's chest ached with something perilously close to affection. You look good. Dangerous, even. Liam smirked, but his eyes held heat. Careful, Hargrove. Flattery like that, and I might stick around past the cake cutting. The cake, a 7-tier monstrosity of buttercream and fondant, dominated the dessert hour, guests cooing as Alex and Bradley fed each other slices with performative tenderness. Mason hung back, nursing a fresh scotch, when Alex materialized like a ghost. Flushed from toasts, tie loosened, that boyish grin Mason once woke up to. Maze, Alex said, clapping his shoulder a beat too long. Didn't think you'd show. And with him, bold move. Mason's jaw clenched. Congrats, Alex. You look miserable under all that sparkle. Alex laughed, but it rang hollow. Come on, don't be bitter. We're adults. Hey, later? Old times sake? Bradley's got that early flight tomorrow. The implication hung, slimy and familiar. Alex's wandering eye, the open talks that always bent one way. Mason's stomach twisted. Pass. I've got better company. Alex's gaze flicked to Liam, then back. Dismissive. Slumming suits you. Call me when you're done playing savior. He sauntered off, leaving Mason adrift in a sea of silk and spite. Liam appeared at his side, reading the room like a pro. Troubles? Ancient history, Mason muttered, but the words tasted like lies. Liam nodded, no judgment. History's got a way of crashing the party uninvited. As the night wore on, the terrace emptied in waves. Guests piling into Ubers, confetti swirling in the breeze. Mason offered Liam a ride back to wherever, but the words stuck. My place isn't far. Couch is yours if you want it. Beats the bridge. Liam hesitated, vulnerability cracking his facade. One night, then I'm gone. Don't need your pity penthouse. But when they stepped into Mason's lobby, marble floors echoing underfoot, doorman tipping his hat, Liam's breath hitched. The elevator ride was silent, charged. The apartment door clicked open to floor-to-ceiling windows framing the glittering sprawl of Midtown. Holy shit, Liam whispered, shedding the blazer. This view, it's like the city's holding its breath. Mason poured nightcaps. Bourbon for him, water for Liam. And they sank onto the leather sectional, city lights painting their faces in blues and golds. Talk turned deeper, barriers crumbling like the rain outside. Liam spoke of his ex, a barista who'd bolted when the eviction started. Mason admitted the loneliness of boardrooms, how money bought everything but absolution. Their knees brushed, then hands, fingers lacing tentative as a question. You saved me tonight, Mason said, voice low. Liam's thumb stroked his knuckles. Nah, we saved each other. The kiss came like the storm's afterglow. Slow, searching, tasting of scotch and second chances. Mason's world tilted, Alex's shadow fading as Liam's arms wrapped around him, solid and sure. They didn't rush. It was hands exploring scars, breaths mingling in the dark, a reclaiming of what the world had tried to steal. Afterward, tangled in sheets that smelled of lavender and possibility, Mason traced Liam's jaw. Stay, not pity. Please. Liam's eyes, soft in the dawn light filtering through blinds, held 1,000 unspoken yesterdays. One day at a time, Hargrove. But yeah, maybe. Dawn crept over the skyline like a hesitant lover, gilding the Hudson in pinks and golds that seeped through Mason's blinds, painting Liam's sleeping form in ethereal strokes. He looked younger in repose, the furrows of hardship smoothed, chest rising steady under the down comforter Mason had draped over him like a truce flag. For the first time in months, Mason didn't bolt upright with the alarm, didn't drown the quiet in espresso and emails. Instead, he lingered, watching the man who'd upended his carefully curated chaos, wondering if this was what vulnerability felt like. Terrifying, alive. Coffee brewed with a hiss that shattered the spell. Liam stirred, blinking awake with a groggy smile that hit Mason like sunlight. Morning, Cinderella. Ball over. Mason slid a mug across the island counter, black with 2 sugars. Just how Liam had taken his beer the night before. A guess that landed. Nah, this is the sequel. Pancakes? Or are you more the hit the road at first light type? Liam sipped, eyes crinkling. Pancakes. But if they're from a box, I'm staging a walkout. They cooked side by side. Ridiculous, really, with Mason's state-of-the-art kitchen and used since the divorce, now flour-dusted and alive with banter. Liam flipped batter with a wrist snap born of diner shifts long past, regaling Mason with tales of Philly cheesesteak heists and the time he'd buskied guitar on South Street for rent money. Art degrees worthless when the world's on fire, he said, plating stacks golden and crisp. But damn, it taught me to see beauty in the broken. Mason chewed thoughtfully, syrup pooling sweet. Broken's my specialty. Family crest should be a cracked chalice. Over breakfast, realities intruded. Liam's phone, cracked screen, duct-taped case, buzzed with a shelter reminder. Mason's chimed with a terse text from his sister. Saw you last night. With that, Dad's furious. Call me. The bubble burst, but not harshly. They cleaned up laughing over suds, shoulders bumping like old habit. Job hunt today? Mason asked, toweling a plate. Liam nodded, drying his hands. Yeah. Barista gigs, maybe freelance design if the library's got Wi-Fi. Can't mooch forever. You're not. Mason set the towel down, stepping close. That couch? It's yours till you say otherwise. Consider it. Collateral for saving my ass at the wedding. Liam's laugh was warm, but his eyes shadowed. Collateral, huh? Careful, rich boy. I might hold you to it. The day unfolded in fits of normalcy laced with undercurrents. Mason's office downtown was a glass-walled area overlooking the financial district. Deals inked over lunches that could feed a family of 4. But he cut out early, texting Liam coordinates for a walk in Central Park. Neutral ground, no penthouse pressure. They met at the Bethesda fountain. Liam in borrowed jeans that hung loose on his frame, sketchpad tucked under arm. Tourists milled. A street violinist wailed hallelujah, notes weaving through the autumn leaves crunching underfoot. Thought you'd be buried in spreadsheets, Liam said, falling into step along the mall. Mason shrugged, hands in pockets. Delegated. Figured I'd rather be here, watching you people watch like it's an Olympic sport. They wandered, Bow Bridge arching graceful over the lake, Belvedere Castle looming like a storybook relic. Liam sketched quick. A pigeon with attitude, a jogger mid-stride, Mason's profile when he thought no one noticed. You're easy to draw, Liam admitted, shading jawline with pencil stub. All angles and light, like a goddamn Renaissance painting. Mason flushed, deflecting. Flattery's dangerous. Next you'll have me posing nude. Liam's grin turned wicked. Don't tempt me. Deeper into the park, they found a quiet glade, leaves carpeting the ground in crimson and gold. They sat, backs to an oak, sharing a thermos of coffee and confessions. Liam unspooled his unraveling. The startup pitch that bombed, the boyfriend's, I can't do this over lukewarm takeout, the spiral of evictions and EBT lines. Hit rock bottom in a Philly alley. Woke up deciding New York was the dream or the grave. 6 months on the street. Teaches you who you are. Stripped bare. Mason listened, gut twisting. His own fractures seemed petty by comparison. The steel mill heirloom tainted by his grandfather's bigotry. Coming out at 16 to a father who offered conversion therapy pamphlets instead of hugs. Alex was my rebellion, he said, voice rough. Thought he saw me, all of me. Turns out, he just wanted the arm candy for galas. Liam's hand found his, squeezing. He didn't deserve the view. The kiss there, amid whispering winds, was different. Less desperate, more deliberate. Lips brushing tentative, then deepening as if mapping uncharted lands. Mason's fingers tangled in Liam's hair, pulling him closer. Liam's palm cupped his neck, thumb stroking pulse point like a lullaby. When they broke, foreheads pressed, Mason whispered, "This scares the hell out of me." "Good," Liam murmured. "Means it's real." Back at the penthouse that evening, domesticity bloomed tentative. Liam commandeered the guest room, formerly a sterile shrine to unused gym equipment, turning it into a makeshift studio with scavenged art supplies from Mason's impulse Amazon dash. Dinner was delivery Thai, eaten cross-legged on the rug, chopsticks clacking as they debated Scorsese versus Spielberg. Laughter echoed, filling voids Mason hadn't named. But shadows lengthened. Mason's phone lit up mid-meal. "Alex, missed you last night. Drinks? For old times." The text sat like a landmine. Mason deleted it, but the doubt lingered. "You all right?" Liam asked, reading the shift. "Yeah, just ghosts." Liam set his carton down, eyes steady. Ghosts only win if you let them haunt. That night, sleep evaded Mason. He padded to the living room, floor cool under bare feet, city hum a distant lullaby. Liam found him there, silhouetted against the window, scotch in hand. Can't sleep. Mason turned, vulnerability raw. What are we doing, Liam? This us. It's a fairy tale with no script. Liam crossed the room, taking the glass, setting it aside. Then we write it, chapter by chapter. No princes, no paupers. Just two guys figuring out the plot. Their bodies aligned, slow burn igniting. Clothes shed like old skins, skin on skin a revelation. Mason's gym-toned lines against Liam's wiry strength. Scars trading stories in the dark. It was worship. Kisses trailing collarbones, hands mapping hips, gasps swallowed in the quiet. Afterward, spooned under starlit sheets, Liam's voice rumbled against Mason's back. I'm falling, Hargrove. Hard. Mason's heart stuttered. Me too. The week blurred into rhythm. Mornings of coffee and crosswords. Liam pounding pavement for gigs, while Mason closed deals with half his mind elsewhere. Evenings brought experiments, movie marathons with Brokeback Mountain sparking debates on quiet tragedies. Rooftop picnics where Liam taught Mason to stargaze despite light pollution. Intimacy deepened, layers peeling. Mason's fear of abandonment rooted in a mother's early death. Liam's quiet pride in surviving without selling out. Conflict brewed subtle at first. Mason's family dinner loomed. A Hargrove tradition at their Hamptons estate. All crystal and caviar. Bring a +1? His sister Claire texted. Mason stared at the screen, pulse racing. Inviting Liam felt like declaration. Excluding him, betrayal. Go, Liam said that night, curled on the couch during a Top Chef binge. Show 'em the new you. I'll hold down the fort. Mason hesitated. Come with, please. They need to meet the man who's rewriting my story. Liam's laugh was nervous. From street to surf and turf? Sounds like a rom-com setup for disaster. But he agreed, borrowing a suit from Mason's closet. Navy wool that hugged his frame like it was tailored. The drive to the Hamptons was charged. Hamptons highway unspooling under tires. Liam's hand on Mason's thigh a talisman. If your old man grills me, do I mention the cardboard sign? Mason snorted. Mention the wedding crash. Instant legend status. The estate was Gatsby-esque. Manicured lawns sweeping to the Atlantic, columns white as bone. Hargroves gathered. Claire in pearls, Uncle Victor barking stock tips. Dad at the head, silver-haired and stern. Mom's absence a ghost in the chandelier prisms. Eyes turned as Mason entered, Liam at his side. Dad, this is Liam O'Connor, Mason said, voice steady. My partner. The table stilled. Dad's fork paused midair. Claire's smile froze. Partner? She echoed, glancing at Liam's scuffed Oxfords. As in, business. No, Mason said, chin lifting. As in, the man who showed up when I needed him most. Polite coughs masked the undercurrent. Dinner dragged, lobster bisque congealing, conversation skirting landmines. Uncle Victor probed Liam's background, tone laced with condescension. Dad's silences thundered judgment. Liam handled it with grace, deflecting with humor. Designer's curse, seeing the flaws in everything, but fixing him one line at a time. After port, Dad pulled Mason aside in the study, leather-bound tomes looming like sentinels. Son, this phase, it's beneath you. Hargroves build empires, not shelters. Mason's fists clenched. It's not a phase, Dad. It's me. Finally seeing past the empire to what's real. The drive back was quieter. Liam's head on Mason's shoulder at a red light. You did good, Maze. Stood your ground. Mason exhaled. Felt like trench warfare. But home brought bomb. Liam drawing him a bath, bubbles foaming under tap, joining him with a splash and a grin. Water lapped as they talked strategy, job leads for Liam, therapy for Mason's daddy issues. Love whispered in touches, solidified in the steam. Then, the call came at 2 a.m., shattering fragile peace. Alex's number, voice slurred through voicemail. Maze, it's me. Bradley's out of town. Come over. Remember Santorini? We were gods then. This guy's a joke. Attached. A photo, Alex shirtless, eyes pleading. Mason deleted it, but the poison seeped. Morning found him distant, Liam sensing the shift over cereal. "Talk to me." "It's nothing," Mason lied. Liam's eyes narrowed. "Lies are for strangers. We're past that." The confession spilled. The message, the temptation's echo. Liam listened, face unreadable, then stood. "You want him? Go. I won't be the rebound." "No." Mason grabbed his wrist. "It's you. Always you now." But doubt's seed rooted. Days blurred tense. Liam landed a freelance gig. Logos for a Brooklyn cafe. But Mason's texts from meetings were clipped, ghosts haunting the silences. Alex escalated. Flowers to the office, accidental run-ins at the gym, whispers of what if. The breaking point brewed at a gallery opening. Mason dragged Liam to art world schmooze, champagne flutes clinking amid Basquiat's and Warhols. Alex was there, of course, arm around a model type, eyes locking on Mason across the room. "Fancy seeing you," Alex purred later, cornering him by the bar. "Still playing house with the stray?" "Fuck off, Alex." But the venom lacked conviction. Old habits died hard. Liam witnessed from afar, jaw tight, slipping out before the encore. Mason found the apartment empty that night. Note on the counter. "Needed air. Don't wait up. L." Panic clawed. Mason searched. Shelters, parks, the bridge from that rainy night. Dawn found him at the library. Liam hunched over a laptop, eyes red-rimmed. "You came," Liam said, voice hollow. "Always." Mason knelt, world narrowing. "I choose you. Every damn time." Tears tracked Liam's cheeks. "Prove it." The library's hush amplified every heartbeat. Fluorescent hum underscoring the precipice they teetered on. Mason's knees ached against linoleum, but he didn't rise. Couldn't. Not until Liam saw the truth etched in his face, raw and unfiltered. Around them, patrons rustled pages, oblivious to the quiet apocalypse unfolding at table 12. Two men, worlds collided, deciding if the wreckage was worth salvaging. "I ended it," Mason said, voice a fervent whisper. "Blocked Alex. Told him we're done, really done. No more games, no more maybes. Just us." Liam's fingers drummed the table, a staccato Morse code of mistrust. "Words are cheap, Maze. I've heard forever from lips that ghosted at the first bill." "Then let me show you." Mason pulled out his phone, dialing speaker. Alex's line ringing shrill in the sterile air. Voicemail clicked. Mason left it raw. "Alex, it's over. For good. I found someone who sees me, not the props. Lose my number." He hung up, eyes locked on Liam's. "Your move." Liam exhaled, shoulders slumping as walls cracked. "Idiot," he muttered, but affection laced the word. He stood, offering a hand. Mason took it, pulled into an embrace that smelled of old books and new resolve. "Okay, we try. But slow, no rushing the ending." They emerged into the crisp November bite. City awakening with honks and steam vents. Breakfast at a corner deli. Bagels slathered in schmear, coffee scalding. Felt like reset. Liam talked gigs. The cafe logo morphing into a pitch for murals, his sketches vibrant on napkins. Mason shared vulnerabilities. Therapy appointment booked, a Hargrove first. Dad called it weakness. I call it armor. Laughter bubbled. Tentative bridge. Back at the penthouse, they tackled the elephant. Boundaries over brunch. Liam insisting on contributing. Rent equivalent in chores or I bolt. Mason agreed, grinning as Liam commandeered laundry, folding with military precision. Philly habit. Clean sheets, clean slate. Intimacy rebuilt brick by brick. Evenings blurred into explorations. Cooking classes via YouTube, disastrous paella, triumphant kisses. Jazz dives in the village where Liam's foot tapped syncopated, Mason's hand warm in his lap. Sex evolved, less frenzy, more reverence. Slow mornings with sunlight tracing spines, lazy afternoons where touches lingered like sonnets. But conflict simmered external. Claire's emails escalated. "Dad's cutting you from the holiday gala. This phase is tanking the family image." Mason fired back. "It's not a phase. It's my life." Internally, Liam's past clawed. Nightmares of eviction notices, waking sweat slick, Mason soothing with murmurs and tea. The storm broke at Thanksgiving Hargrove tradition, but Mason opted out, hosting a ragtag feast instead. Invites went to Liam's shelter buddies. Jamal the vet with a missing tooth grin, Sarah sketching portraits for tips. The penthouse transformed, tables groaning under turkey from Zabbers. Cornbread Liam baked from a pilfered recipe. Laughter echoed, toasts clinking. To found family, Mason said, glass raised, eyes on Liam across the chaos. Dad's call came mid-carve. Boy, you're embarrassing us. That hobo circus. Mason's grip tightened on the knife. It's real, Dad. More real than your empire of echoes. Silence, then click. Hurt bloomed, but Liam's hand on his steadied. You chose heart over heritage. Proud of you. Post-feast, guests crashed on air mattresses. Mason and Liam stole to the balcony, city twinkling indifferent below. Thanks for this, Liam said, bundled in wool. Feels like home. Mason kissed his temple. You are home. December dusted the streets in sugar, holidays glittering manic. Liam's freelance bloomed, a mural gig for the cafe. His designs splashed bold across brick. Abstract hearts in subway tile shards, symbolizing mended fractures. Mason beamed at the unveiling, champagne in hand, pride swelling as patrons oohed. You're a force, he whispered later, fingers tracing paint flecks on Liam's cheek. But betrayal's specter lingered. Alex, undeterred, cornered Mason at a holiday mixer. Charity ball for orphaned kids. Irony thick. Heard you're domestic now? Alex sneered, breath boozy. How's the charity fuck treating you? Bet he bolts when the novelty wears. Mason's fist clenched champagne flute. Jealousy looks ugly on you. Alex leaned in, voice silk over venom. Come on, Maze. One night. Remember how we fit. He's playing you. Street rat angling for the penthouse. The words wormed, doubt flickering despite the block. Mason pulled away, but the seed took root, poisoning quiet moments. Liam noticed. Silences stretching, Mason's touches hesitant. What's eating you? He pressed one night, over takeout lo mein. Work stress, Mason deflected. Liam's eyes hardened. Don't gaslight me. We're better than that. The dam cracked. Mason spilled Alex's taunt, voice trembling. What if he's right? What if I'm just your golden ticket out? Liam recoiled, hurt flashing. You think that's it? After everything, the rain, the wedding, the park? Fuck you, Mason. I chose you, broke and beautiful, not the bank account. He stormed out, door slamming echo. Mason chased to the elevator, but it dinged empty. Hours blurred. Texts unanswered, panic rising. He scoured haunts. The cafe, closed. The park bench, empty. The bridge, Liam there, silhouette against rail. East River churning black below. Liam, Mason called, wind whipping. Liam turned, face streaked. Go home, Maze. I can't be your pity project. You're not. Mason closed the gap, hands framing his face. You're my everything. Alex is poison. Don't let him win. Tears mingled with rain, fate's cruel echo. Liam sagged into him. I love you, you idiot. But love without trust? It's just chains. They returned soaked, thawing in hot showers and apologies. Trust rebuilt fragile. Therapy for Mason, open journals for Liam. Holidays peaked at Christmas. Tree trimmed with mismatched ornaments, gifts thoughtful. Mason's leather sketchbook engraved to my plot twist. Liam's hand-stitched wallet from scavenged leather, for holding more than cash. New Year's dawned crisp, resolutions whispered at midnight. To us, clinking flutes on the balcony, kiss ceiling against fireworks blooming over the harbor. But climax loomed, betrayal's full bloom. January's chill brought Alex's masterstroke. Anonymous leak to page 6, Hargrove airs slum romance. From boardrooms to breadlines, photos grainy. Liam's shelter days, Mason's arm around him at the wedding. Headlines screamed scandal. Dad's ultimatum followed. End it, or lose the legacy. Mason's world fractured. Board meetings turned inquisitorial. Claire pleaded, "He's using you." Liam, reading the tabloid over coffee, face ashen. "This is poison. I won't drag you down." "No." Mason crumpled the paper. "We fight." The confrontation brewed at Alex's innocent invite. Post-holiday brunch at Bradley's club, to bury hatchets. Mason went alone, rage-leashed. The club reeked of old money. Polished oak, crystal decanters. Alex waited, smug in cashmere. "You leaked it," Mason accused, voice ice. Alex shrugged. "Friendly advice. He's trash, Maze. Deserving better." Fist flew before thought. Mason's knuckles splitting on Alex's jaw, security hauling him out amid gasps. Bruised and buzzing, he texted Liam. "It's war, but I'm all in." Liam met him at the ER, stitching metaphorically. Proud, reckless, but proud. The fallout cascaded. Dad disowned, assets frozen. Mason liquidated stocks, starting Hargrove Ventures anew. Focus on social startups, shelters turned lofts. Liam's mural went viral, commissions flooding. Together, they weathered therapy marathons. Nights where doubt whispered but love roared louder. Climax crested at the wedding's one-year mark. Alex and Bradley's anniversary gala. Invite spiteful. Mason crashed. Liam at his side in custom Tom Ford. Equality's armor. The room hushed as they entered. Hands linked. Alex blanched. Dad, cornered. Extended olive branch tentative. "Son, perhaps I misjudged." The gala's afterglow lingered like champagne haze, chandeliers casting fractured halos over the ballroom as guests milled. Whispers evolving from scandal to reluctant awe. Liam's speech, unscripted, seismic, had shifted tectonic plates. Aunt Eliza dabbing tears into her Chanel, Uncle Victor muttering, "Kids got brass." Even Bradley shooting Alex side eyes laced with doubt. Mason stood beside Liam, hand firm in his, knuckles still throbbing from the earlier punch. A badge of battles won. "You were magnificent," he murmured, lips brushing ear. "My hero in H&M." Liam chuckled, low and warm, but his eyes scanned the room wary. Predator's instinct from streets that taught trust was a luxury. "Heroes don't puke before curtain. Just glad you didn't let me bolt." They navigated the crowd like royals in exile. Claire pulling Mason into a hug scented with Chanel No. 5, whispering, "He's good for you, really good. Dad's coming around, slow as molasses." Dad himself hovered at the bar, scotch in hand, gaze appraising Liam over the rim. When he approached, the air thickened, but his nod was gruff concession. "O'Connor, that speech had merit. Perhaps we talk business. Shelters need funding." Liam met his eyes level, no flinch. "Appreciate it, sir. But it's not charity. It's partnership. Folks like me, we build better when we're at the table." Dad's lip twitched, closest to a smile Mason had seen in years. "Fair enough. Join us for Easter?" Neutral ground. As they drove home, penthouse lights winking welcome, Mason exhaled decades' weight. "You slayed dragons tonight. My dragons." Liam's hand squeezed his thigh. "We did. Team effort." Home was sanctuary. Bubble bath drawn, Epsom salts dissolving bruises, Liam's fingers gentle on Mason's split skin. "Warrior wounds," he teased, kissing the scrape. Intimacy followed languid, bodies entwined on heated tiles, water sloshing as confessions bubbled. "Scared me, that leak," Liam admitted, head on Mason's chest. "Felt like Philly all over. Exposed, unworthy." Mason tilted his chin up. "Unworthy? You're the worth. Alex, he's the exposure, rotten core." Sleep came deep, dreams untroubled for once. Spring unfurled green, mirroring renewal. Hargrove Ventures launched. First project, artist co-op in the Bronx, Liam heading design. Paparazzi faded, story morphing from tabloid fodder to New York Times feature. From streets to sketchpads. A love that redraws the city. But undercurrents stirred. Alex's marriage cracked public. Bradley's indiscretions splashed in Us Weekly. Divorce papers filed amid asset wars. Alex called Mason one bourbon-soaked night, voice splintered. You were right. It was all smoke. Help me, Maze? For old. No. Mason's tone steel. Liam listening silent on the couch. Fix your own mirrors, Alex. I've got my own to polish. Click. Catharsis washed, but empathy lingered. Mason booking anonymous therapy for Alex. Unsigned card. Break to build. Liam's star rose. Murals commissioned citywide. TEDx talk on art as anchor. Fame's glare tested. Fans mobbing, offers tempting, LA gallery tempting relocation. What if? Liam mused over diner fries, skyline sprawling. Bigger canvas. Mason's gut twisted. And us? Penned in grayscale. Liam's foot nudged his under table. Nah, you're my color. But dreams don't pause. They compromised. Quarterly coasts, roots in NYC. Summer sweltered, getaway to Fire Island, gay haven of dunes and drag brunches. Cottage rented, waves crashing lullaby. They biked trails hand in chain, bodies bronzed and bare on private beaches. Nights, bonfires with locals, stories swapped like shells. This, Mason said, sand gritty between toes, Liam's head on his lap, is the life I forgot existed. Fall brought harvest. Co-op opening gala. Liam's murals vivid backdrops. Dad attended. Check in hand. 6 figures. No strings. Proud son. He grunted post-toast, clapping Mason's back. Claire brought dates, hers and a setup for Liam, rebuffed with laugh. But betrayal's echo resurfaced twisted. Jamal, Liam's shelter pal, confessed over beers. Alex paid me. Back when you two started. Info for the leak. Needed cash for his kids' braces. Rage boiled, but Liam waved it off. Past tense. Forgiveness is my luxury now. Mason seethed, confronting Alex at a neutral cafe, neutral as barbed wire. You paid off my partner's friend? Low, even for you. Alex, hollow-eyed, post-divorce gaunt. Desperate times. Thought it'd wake you. It destroyed me instead. Pity-tempered fury. Mason walked, but not before. Heal Alex, but stay gone. Climax simmered toward eruption. Holidays loomed, but a curveball. Liam's mural caught philanthropist eye. Commission for MoMA wing, deadline brutal. Stress mounted. Late night sketching, Mason's ventures pulling him to DC pitches. Cracks spidered, arguments over takeout cold. You're drifting, Mason accused. I'm grinding, Liam snapped. For us. Snow fell first flakes, blanketing tension. Christmas Eve, tree aglow but silence heavy. Mason found Liam on balcony, sketchpad abandoned. Talk. Liam turned, eyes stormy. I'm scared, Maze. Success feels like a trap. Lose you to the grind or the grind to you. Mason pulled him close, flakes melting on lashes. Then we pivot. Together. Resolution dawned. Sabbatical planned. Road trip west. Route 66 Redux. Gay icons mapped. But fate intervened cruel. New Year's. Liam collapsed mid-dance. Club thumping, lights strobing, vision blurring, world tilting. Our lights harsh. Diagnosis, pneumonia from exposure scars. Lungs weakened by street winters. Mason vigil kept, hand clasped cold. Fight, love. We've got miles to go. Liam rallied, raspy whisper. Promise me, no pity. Live fierce. Recovery stretched. Home hospice vibes. Mason delegating all. Soups simmered. Books read aloud. Vulnerability deepened bonds. Liam's fears of burden voiced. Mason's of loss bared. Spring bloomed. Liam stronger. Mural finished triumphant. MoMA opening. Crowd roaring. Liam's arm in Mason's. Tears unshed. But the true stun brewed in quiet aftermath. Dads will revised, legacy split. Half to causes, half to Mason. Caveat. Build with heart, not hoard. Alex, reform shadow, sent letter, you won. Grateful. Summer solstice, 1 year post-gala, they stood on that same rooftop, now there's least joint. Liam knelt, not in proposal but promise. Ring simple, silver band etched plot twist eternal. Marry me? Not for show for us. Mason tears free, yes tumbling. Yes, all the yes. Crowd? Just stars, city hum approval. The rooftop air hummed electric that solstice eve, June's warmth wrapping them like a vow unspoken. The city below a tapestry of lights flickering benediction. Liam's knee met concrete first, ring glinting moon-kissed, nothing ostentatious, no Hargrove heirloom, just hammered silver from a village artisan. Inscription tiny but indelible. Plot twist eternal. Mason's breath caught, world narrowing to the man before him. Eyes denim blue and steady. The one who'd turned rain-soaked ruin into redemption's arc. Yes, Mason choked, pulling Liam up into gravity's defy. Kiss ceiling against skyline pulse. All the yes, forever the twist. Laughter bubbled through tears, bodies swaying slow dance sans music, hands tracing promises on skin. No paparazzi flash, no family fanfare. Just them, raw and radiant, the East River whispering witness. Back inside, champagne uncorked with pops like fireworks, toasts to ghosts banished. To rainy nights and reckless invites, Liam clinked, foam spilling giddy. Wedding plans unfolded organic, anti-gala gospel. No plaza pomp. Instead, a Brooklyn loft. Exposed brick echoing their Chelsea ghosts, but reclaimed. Invites handwritten, selective. Claire officiating, ordained online, teary-eyed. Jamal best man with jokes honed sharp. Sarah flower girl in overalls smudged paint. Dad attended subdued, arm extended to Liam pre-ceremony. Welcome, son. Earned it. Vows traded under string lights, laughter punctuating. Mason's you saw me soaked and said yes. I'll spend lifetimes returning the favor. Liam's from bridges to this? You're my masterpiece. Rings exchanged. Matching silvers. Kiss thunderous. Cheers erupting as cake toppled in joy. Honeymoon. Road warriors. Mustang rented. Route 66 traced reverse. Gay Americana mapped. Chicago's Boys Town for blues and brunches. Tulsa's trails hand in hand. Santa Fe sunsets painting them adobe gold. Detours spontaneous. Diner pie in Oklahoma. Stargazing in Kansas prairies where Liam sketched constellations. Mason's head pillowed on his chest. This, Liam murmured, meteor streaking, is the happy we earned. Return brought harvest. Ventures thrived. Co-op spawning sister sites. Liam's art empire. Galleries. Books. Bridges of Us. Bestseller quiet. Mason mentored. Panels on wealth with soul. Conflicts. Minimal arguments over tie orders. Makeup sex fervent. Therapy tandem. Unpacking baggage, building stronger. Betrayal's final echo. Alex's redemption arc. Glimpsed at a charity auction. Mason's event. Alex bidding quiet on Liam's piece. Post-hammer. Approach hesitant. Congrats. Deserve it all. Handshake firm. No strings. Alex vanished into healing's horizon. Years layered like patina. First anniversary. Bridge picnic. Rain held. Promises renewed. Adoption talks bloomed. Foster kid. Jamal's niece. Tiny force named Riley. Curls wild as Liam's sketches. Family fractal. Dad softening. Grandkids thawing bigotry. Claire's weddings. Toasts toasting love's spectrum. Climax revisited not in storm but serenity. 10th year. Same rooftop. Riley toddling between legs. City evolved but there's eternal. Liam, silver-threaded now, pulled Mason close. Stunned yet. Mason grinned. Lines crow's feet joy. Every day. You. Utterly. Kiss soft. Profound. Humanistic close. No fairy dust. Just flesh and blood triumph. Love as verb, messy and mighty. In America's sprawl, two men proved. From homeless to hearth, betrayal to bond. The stun wasn't the invite, but the staying. The building. The becoming. Epilogue whisper. Riley's first sketch. Crayon bridge over rainbow. Caption toddler scrawl. Dad's twist. Framed forever.